It looks close.
My brother's daughter at K-State, and my Westwood's daughter at Cloud County spoke.
Are they sick? Are they just testing positive? I mean, not real sick.
In order?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Gippius. Here. Fry.
Present.
Stroller.
Here.
Hughes.
Here.
Feigman. Price.
Here.
Barron.
Here.
Fromm.
Here.
8-0, we have a quorum.
All right. First up, we have the minutes for the regular meeting. Does anybody have any changes or
I do.
anything to that? Diane?
On page 4, number 1, it should be $2.40 hour raise for the police officers instead of $2.50 in 2019. At the top of the page.
Okay.
An employee.
Yep.
Annual raises.
Yep, got it. Okay.
Okay. Any other changes?
Move to approve regular minutes, November 9th, 2020.
Okay. With the one amendment or one change?
With the change.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next up, we have the minutes for the special meeting on November 13th.
Move to approve minutes from special meeting, November 13th, 2020.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next up, we have public comment, which nobody's here for, so next up, business and discussion. And first up, we have a proposal to mark Potter's Field.
Move to approve the proposal to mark Potter's Field.
Second.
Okay.
I think this is great. You know, I worked out at the cemetery years ago, and nobody really knew where it was at. At least this will mark it where everybody knows where it's at up there, so.
If we know what the names are, the other people, do they know where they are? Can we get this mortuary to put little markers there too?
I had asked at one time why we didn't have names for Potter's Field, and he was telling me that it was all lost. He didn't know where the papers were for it. The papers, records had gotten lost quite a while ago.
But I thought it said that he knew some of the names.
They know some of them up there.
Yeah, but
So can we put a little stake, or, I mean, even though if we don't know where they are, can't we put names there? I mean, put a list of the names that are there?
that'd be nice. That would be nice.
If we can find names, would you rather they be in the kiosk?
I would rather they be in the kiosk
Well,
instead.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you don't know where they are anyway. If
Yeah.
I can find names, I can make a list.
Well, I know, but we need to at least have a list of them somewhere, so.
I can see if there's any in the records at all. I know, but there was a fire, so I don't know
Yeah,
where they were.
fires would, yeah.
Okay.
Connected to the kiosk, if somebody's got corrections or anything on there, or there's missing information, you're the one reporting? Okay.
Okay. We have a motion to second. We have any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There you go. Okay, next up we have paperwork from some of the other towns around and their rec director. And I guess we need to just kind of decide how we're going to proceed.
I guess an initial question is, do we want to move forward with hiring an employee to do it, or, I think a lot of council members know that, or at least been contacted by somebody who was interested. I'm not advising or for or against this, but it is out there that somebody else was interested in being a contractor, just like Marysville Sport and Rec. I wanted, it is out there. They did submit something like really recently, which is why it hasn't been talked about. They were still interested, but that's out there for your guys' info, not for or against that. So if you want to continue moving forward or move forward towards an employee model versus a contractor model, that's what's at question here.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
One question about that. Has anybody pursued these people and found out anything from them except that they were interested?
Not thus far. I mean, that's for the council to decide if they would like to have a meeting with this group or how you want to proceed.
Well, somebody's interested. I think we should pursue that first because this is a big undertaking, and if they want to contract it, I really think it'd be better than the city trying to do it,
Okay.
personally.
Flip side of that is we had a deadline out there. They weren't interested till way past the deadline, so why do we need to chase somebody when there's a deadline out there to submit your application by?
You don't want to chase, I didn't say chase them, I just said approach them to find out before we go ahead and do something different.
Well, but Terry, that'd be no different than letting bids out and approaching somebody else, see if they want to bid on another project.
Nobody else was interested.
Oh, not till like the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, so now all of a sudden, you know.
Yeah, I got one
do
more.
it, But otherwise, the other.
I don't think that was fair to the last group that we had up there because this person could have seen every bit of money they were talking about and everything.
It was not, but at the same time, the last group
I
pulled
know. I'm just,
they pulled away from the negotiations, so in my mind, that frees council up to proceed however they want to proceed.
I'm just saying, if they couldn't be interested before, why, I mean, I'll be real simple. I'm not gonna be backed into a corner where they're gonna force me. I'm not interested. That's where I'm at.
Well, we probably need to have a motion as far as whether you want to approach the group or not. We rule that out, and then if that gets ruled out, then you move towards, I would think. If you rule that out, then you move towards deciding what you want the job description to be for doing it in-house.
Is your job to do this in-house as a recreation, with someone we already have on staff, or go out and hire somebody?
We would go out and hire somebody to do this because we don't have anybody who's fixed up to do this sort of thing.
Okay, no, that's what I was asking.
Yeah. Yeah, this would be hiring somebody.
And from what I can see, it's going to be probably hiring more than one.
Well, step one is hiring
Yeah,
one,
at
and
least
then,
hire one, and
Then they would
and
hire.
then they would hire everybody else.
Do we have in the budget to be able to do that?
Well, you'd be swapping out money.
Yeah.
Right now, we budgeted $70,000 for recreation, so we would use that money to pay salary for the rec director and anybody else underneath with them. Now, it's gonna look weird because we're used to, at least of recent memory, well, last 15 years, just going, here's money, take care of it. When you switch to this model, it's, okay, we're paying you, and you, and you, and you, and now we're expecting revenue to come back. So Marysville Sport and Rec was spending $100,000 plus on their end in getting that money back in sponsorships and fees and all that stuff. So it's not going to look like it is now. It's going to be a lot different. It's going to be we're going to spend $100,000 rather than 70, and then get hopefully that 30, 40, whatever thousand back.
Well, if we're gonna do it in-house, who would these people be answering
Me.
And Pat?
The director would be answering to me.
Would be who?
Me. They would come to me. They'd be an employee of me.
Okay.
Now, here's the problem with it in the wintertime, as I was looking through these or proposals, or whatever you want to call it, you got from other communities.
Yep.
You know, these rec directors in these other communities during the winter months, when they're not out doing their sports stuff, they're actually working for the city, moving snow, shoveling
And
snow,
that was after.
whatever needs to go on, you know,
Yes.
so. But in the summertime, you know, then you look at it the other side, you're paying these people overtime.
Right.
Some
Some of them.
Some of them,
have
just
them,
a
held them to
8-hour
40
day.
hours a week.
Yeah,
We have the option to set their schedule up however we want.
right,
So they could be working 40 hours, they could have somebody else, basically, like we do with any other department. I mean, police department's a prime example. You got somebody working 40 hours a week, but they have people working around the clock. So
Right.
it's something like that we can do. And yes, they would be, if we do hire a full-time person with benefits, they would be helping out other places during the winter. I'd love to see a lot of stuff taken off of the Parks Department's. For instance, this person could go around moving snow in the parks or moving snow on sidewalks or something like that, and take something away from the Parks Department who's already overburdened with other things.
Many of these places, they're local cities, like Hiawatha, all their sports are done by parent groups, except for the T-ball. So the rec director does not do them. And they don't have near as many programs as we do. Their concession stands are ran by volunteer groups.
I've seen that.
And so that would take away, at least we would have that burden gone. And so that's,
So if it's ran by volunteer groups, they buy the supplies, they get the income?
yep.
Right.
Now, there is one where there's just a lady in the office that volunteers to go do it for them, gets the stuff, and that group does it, takes care of it, and takes the money. But by far and away, it would be the easiest just to grab a local group who would like to do it, and you know, it's their project, so we wouldn't have to have somebody on the payroll and figure it out.
This hiring an employee does come with a lot more of expenses. It would be new equipment, it would be hiring the umpires, hiring all the support staff that would normally be taken on by the contractor. And we would now be paying benefits to at least one more person, if not two. So that's an added expense that we didn't have before. And, I mean, that's just that's what comes with the territory when you hire another employee.
Well, that's why I was asking if budget would be able to do that if we did decide to hire.
I mean, we could make it work. I mean, we got to fit it in somewhere.
Okay.
It's not an ideal situation switching up a format, which is basically what this is. This late in the game. Can it be done? Yes.
And finding employees too.
Right.
Well,
So I don't.
qualified.
And I don't think it hurts to talk to this other person that's interested and see where they are. I mean, we have to do it soon and see, I mean, and so we know right away where we're at. I mean,
Right.
they can't drag their feet, so.
Right, and they said they're ready to go talk with us, and they want to talk with Brian if you guys want to move forward. So they are anxious to know if you guys are interested or not. And if you're not, they want to know that too.
Can we say the name of this person too? Can we say this out loud, or can we just can't right yet? Who's interested in it?
I don't know.
Will you look?
Well, I can't hear them.
I can't
She's
hear
wanting
what
to
you're
know the
saying, so.
names of
We
people
can't hear what
interested.
you're saying.
Oh, I was asking, is it legal for us to say the name of this person so we can know who we're discussing here?
What are your thoughts, John? I mean, they submitted a piece of paper to me saying this was their interest in the position.
It kind of relates to, we had that with the other company too, the financial, or trademarks or the financial integrity of this company. You're really putting them at risk by disclosing who they are, what their resources are.
Right.
And it's more like an employment application where you keep those names of employees confidential. So at this point, these preliminary matters, I would say, would not be subject to open meetings or open records disclosure.
Okay.
Okay,
Possibly until they're ready to come before the council?
Good, right.
Okay.
okay. Thank you.
So yeah, I think that's the first step, is deciding whether we want to approach this group or not, or have some talks with them. So that would probably, the first thing is somebody would want to make a motion if they would want to approach this group, and then you see whether that passes or fails, and then go to the next thing.
I make a motion to have a discussion with the interested parties that would like to take care of our recreation program.
Okay.
That's good enough.
She made a motion to have a discussion with that party about the rec program.
I'll second that.
Okay. Now, do you want to have it go to a committee, Parks and Rec, like last time? Have them meet with a committee, or you want to have a special council meeting, or what do you want to do?
No,
Yes, sir.
I think if we pass that motion, that party should come to the council and tell us what their plans are, and the whole council should know it right off the bat.
Okay.
Otherwise, the council needs to do what Parker wants to do and have the city take over.
Okay. So you want a full council meeting then with the group?
I think we should. We should have the chance to talk, have a discussion with them, yes.
Well, I mean, because one reason why I bring that, I mean, because time's short, as we all know. I mean,
We can have a
Time at this
special
point,
meeting
but-
if we need to.
yeah, so I mean, we're probably going to have some special meetings, I would imagine, to move this along. Because otherwise, if you don't meet with them until next meeting, you're already the first week of, meeting in December, and then you got one more till the end of the year, and that's it.
So we need to pass this, if we're going to pass it, we need to vote. Is that correct?
Yes.
Just to approach them is all of them. I mean, that's
Okay.
what the motion is right now, is just to approach them.
All right.
It's just whether you want to kick it to committee meetings, if they could have something, say that they could meet with them this week, then you could have a special council meeting Monday if you want to discuss it as a full council. Depends on how fast you want to move this along.
Why don't we,
Yes.
let's just try to move it
It'll
along.
probably depend on them too when they
Yeah.
can get here.
I know, that too.
Get a hold of them, see what, the soonest that we can have a discussion, well, we can bring them in,
Special meeting.
special
Okay.
meeting.
Is that what you want? Not a committee, special council meeting?
Might as well just, might as well just all get here and just have this talk. Instead of having to do two steps, just do one.
Okay. All right. So the motion is that we set up a special council meeting with them to discuss sport rec. Okay. And you second that, Terry, then?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion on that motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Two.
Two.
Opposed?
6-2.
6-2. All right. We will set up a meeting with them then. Next, we have procurement policy number A-88.
Okay. So this, and I apologize for not having my description of why this is in here, but basically CDBG is asking us to change up our procurement policy to match up with what they want. And I included what our current purchasing and procurement policies, A75 and A81. But that's this model, what's listed as 888 is what they want. So we can move forward on CDBG grant funding. The fire station is what this is associated with. So that is why this is in here. And like I said, I included the current one and the new one for you guys to analyze. So any questions on that?
So is this for everything, anytime you can go buy anything for,
Yeah, this is all procurement. They wanted us to have this wording, including, I think there's some CDBG, was there CDBG? Yeah, the CDBG funds. Yeah. Yeah, this is wording our complete procurement policy, and it would replace our old two policies that are in place right now.
Are the CDBG numbers, are those based on anything, or are those for, if it's Manhattan or Marysville or?
You mean the ones in yellow?
So
Yeah.
Those you can change.
right, but
That's ours.
the 5% was already in there. In fact, we didn't, I thought we had a like a local allowance. In ours, we didn't. I mean, as you can see in the, so
Right.
they recommended a 5%, so we left it at 5%.
I mean, I just got
The monies can be whatever.
I got a hard time going from $2,500 and $500 to $7,500 and $2,500.
Well, I'll tell you what I had before. These are, actually, I'll give you 3 examples. In a town of, what was it, 1,400, 5,000 is what the city manager had. That was me.
And I'm fine with that.
Right. Seneca, who has a 1,900 population, has a 10,000. He has 10,000. Hillsborough, they have whatever is budgeted. That's what their procurement policy says.
Well, but do all, I mean, I don't know, do all those towns meet bi-monthly?
Actually, I met monthly. They probably meet bi-monthly. It's
To me, it's the caution is the better part. I'd rather have to approve it unnecessarily than us in retrospect go, oh, that wasn't a bad expenditure. I mean, it's not a lack of trust. It just, to me, it's good checks and balances to not get too wild with that,
Yeah,
with
well,
that figure.
we were elected, and people look at us, and they go, you're letting him spend that much money? You know, that's why I think we need to bring it back down to about $5,000. And if we need to go over that, we have the authority to call a special meeting anytime we need to.
It is, I mean, I get what you're saying. My perspective as the appointed official to oversee the city,
Right.
it's highly restricted. It is. When I can see that, I mean, since I've been here, I've turned the budget from a deficit to a surplus
I understand.
through my spending habits. Now, yes, you guys make decisions on that, but off the recommendations that I make. I mean, if I can't earn that sort of a trust, even with looking year to year of our surplus growing and growing, I mean, that it just,
Realistically, okay, first of all, how many years have you been with the city?
4 years.
How many times has it been a real restrictive factor to something happening that it was over your budget authority?
Well, I think about it every time. I'm like, okay, so do I want to go through the effort of getting this done? Or do we want to just go around and try to work with what we got? It doesn't lead, and I know that's a knock on me, it doesn't lead to the best of situations we make it through because we have awesome crews to get it done with, but it doesn't lead to the best situations. So, I mean, yes, again, I'm knocking myself because I'm not going and going, okay, council, but to be honest, I used to have people above me that just beat me up every time I made a decision on my own. I mean, that's where I was coming from. So I got to this point where it's just like, do I want to go through that again?
And see, and here's the thing too, the way I look at it is, we do this for any department head, any city administrator, whether it's you or someone else. We are casting judgment on a policy, not a person. It's not a lack of a trust of a person or any individual, it's a system. I mean, and I wouldn't want to be here in a couple of years, 2 years revising it again for different department heads or different, you went to work for Kansas City or whatever, and we had somebody else. I think we've got to be smart and measured with our changes based on that. It's not a commentary on you or any department head.
And I am a flexible person, and which is why I've lived with the policy as it stands right now, because, I mean, that's what I am. I mean, if you were to just up it to 5, I mean, I consider it a win, but, I mean, it gives me that much more flexibility to go, okay, we need this, so I can go get this, and that's just the way it is. So, I mean,
But you honestly think our crews out there need $2,500?
I'd say 5 and 1 would be good. 5 and 1 would be good.
And like I said, yeah, I'm fine with that. I mean, I guess,
I would like to see the department heads at 1,500.
Yeah, so I thought you could even go 1,500 because a lot of things are in that. It seems like $1,000, $1,200 range.
Well, I just changed oil in the machine for the county. The oil was just a little over $1,200.
Right.
So you had to go get your purchase orders to buy it, which was fine. I mean, it happens, but that's what I would like to give that department head the ability to do.
Right.
And I don't know what pipes cost, I don't know what hydrants cost or valves cost.
It adds up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, I don't want them limited that they can't fix something because they're waiting on us to get approval or something along that line.
And if you do the adjustment like you're saying, I would just ask that you think about in the future that, okay, we've given you this leash a little bit more, and just consider that in the future.
You've worked a lot of places, Todd, what do you think?
Yeah, and it seems like it varies a lot.
Well, it does, all I'm looking at is 500, they barely can buy tires for vehicles, and that's an expenditure that has to happen, so.
But then they can go to Austin and get the approval, so they don't have to.
Yeah, but it's a sad day when they walk, and they do often because they're only allowed this $500.
Right.
Every time a blown tire, they walk into my office and go, "Can I please?" And that's pretty much what it is. Can I please have a new tire? That's what it's.
Well, and in some of them cases, I'll be honest, if you're putting one on, you really need to put 4 on.
4, 2,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so we're not messing up the rear ends in these dump trucks.
And even if we increase this to 1,500, there's still going to be times when they have to do that sort of thing.
Lots of times.
Right?
Lots of times.
But that at least cuts down on it. And I mean, I do think the numbers as they are outdated. I think 1,500 and 5,000 are a pretty good jump, but a reasonable jump.
Okay, and I appreciate that. That's great. I mean, this sort of thing does reduce some paperwork. I mean, we won't have to sign so much because of if we get so many blown tires. I mean, yeah, it helps out the process.
Yeah, that's why we have receipts.
Right.
That's why we have receipts coming through, that if they don't have a receipt, then you have a reason to question, But if they are carrying the receipts in here and everything's matching up, there should not be a problem at all.
No, like I said,
Receipts, Terry. I said, as long as they have their receipts, there shouldn't be a problem at all. That's the way I look at it. That way, they aren't coming in, having to break into their time to come here. They can just go do what they're supposed to do. But like I said, we have receipts and they're always turned in. And if there's a question about it, then we'll take that up. But I don't think these guys aren't going to do anything that they shouldn't. There are people out there watching what they're doing all the time.
So
The other figures in here I don't think are unreasonable.
I was about to say I wouldn't have to change anything else.
no.
I'm going to approve policy A88 with the modifications of under purchasing authority of city administrator to $5,000, city clerk and department heads to $1,500.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0.
Next policy is also under CDBG. They want us, basically, this is including contact information for HUD if we ever have a fair housing complaint. They want us to have this in our policies to show that our city clerk or our building inspector is going to make this call to register the complaint. That's all this is, so we can have this on file.
It's pretty much boilerplate, basically.
Yes, this, I put in Marysville. They wouldn't let me change anything else. So, see, it says county and city
Yeah.
commissioner, yeah, Marysville. That's what I got to put in.
Okay, move to approve the Civil Rights Fair Housing Policy 889.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0.
All right, next one up is the fire station contract. This is something the architect put together for the fire station. Once we get this approved, they are ready to go. They were out there looking at the property to put footings in. That's where they're at right now. So, once this is signed, or once this is approved by you guys, we can move forward with the CDBG fire station.
Move to approve the fire station contract
Second.
with M-Line Construction.
Any further discussion? Yes, Barry.
I have one question. Is there, I didn't see it in here, a provision. This is the contract, does it make allowances for change orders?
Yeah, there is. If there needs to be something changed, you guys they would approach us, and you guys would approve change orders if necessary, unless it's something small that I can do on station. But if they need some large change that wasn't foreseen, that would come before you guys to be approved.
Well, I'm kind of referring to like what happened up there where the guys ran into the rock. All of a sudden, it cost a ton more money to put that line in. Is this a cut and dried deal except for what we approved in a change order here? I mean, if they run into something we don't know and they don't know, that's why I want to know where we're at on that.
We are hoping, for instance, they don't think they're going to run into rock because we did the geocords at every corner, in fact, more than every corner of this. So they underground, they're pretty sure of what's down there.
Pretty sure is a big word.
Well, because they've seen it. They've seen what's under there. They took at least
There's 8, I thought.
8 locations of the site, of the fire station site. So underground is not a mystery. We did the helical piles, that's where that came from. So something unforeseen under there, we're hoping we just mitigated that. So with every project, there's always unforeseen, but we've prepared for this more than any other project.
Okay.
Now, was there about a light pole?
A
You
light-
had in the highlights, something about a light pole?
Oh, the lights that were over the
Basketball court?
the basketball court. We took the light poles down. I know I know what you're talking about. Okay, the felt field lights are pretty close to the fire station where it's going to be. So I started looking into possibly getting those replaced because it will be within 5 feet. So if you guys want to replace them now, I'm trying to get the information you need to make that decision.
And those were the ones that aren't there, the original poles from like 55 or something like
Yeah,
that?
more than likely.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to gather information so you guys can see that and how you want to move forward with that.
Well, I know some of the cross members up there are rotted with the lights going on, so I mean,
It will be a big project, and I know you all understand that, but yeah, numbers are not low on this. But it's something, while we're financing something, we could put it in there and I could work it into the budget to where we're making payments and it's not hurting, but it's not, I mean, it's there, but it's not hurting us. So I'm gathering information on that. Hopefully, I'll have multiple sources from Lighting Text to give you guys so you can take a look at that.
Somebody want to make a motion?
We have a motion and a second on the
Motion
motion.
and second.
Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next up, we have notices and hearings, consent agenda. We have a proposal from Microcom.
Cindy, how much has this went up since last year? Just out of curiosity, do you have any idea?
I don't, off the top of my head, I just know that we really have no choice because
I
they're the
know we
only
don't,
ones.
but I was just curious how much, I know every year everything goes up.
It
I was
does,
just
and I
curious.
can look that up, but I do not know.
Okay.
It depends on how much we use.
Is that what it's based off of, is the
Yeah.
usage?
They're giving us an hourly contract
The
rate.
labor rate's $90 an hour. If we don't use them, it doesn't cost, so it's,
But I know, $3,225 for a year is quite a bit if we don't use them at all.
right.
But then on the other hand, if they make several trips up here, we have a lightning strike out at House 3 or 4 up there.
When it took out our water plant,
Yeah,
and
I know,
without that, we had nothing.
yeah,
They would not even come.
yeah, so, no, I'm just kinda curious how bad that it goes up.
And I can check that out for you.
Okay.
If
So
you
what
Yeah.
is this?
It's a warranty, basically, our Microcom is the system we use for monitoring our wells, our water wells, and our towers. And is there some on our sewer pumps? No,
No.
not on that.
Not this
But,
one.
so basically, it lets us know when the pumps are running, how full the water towers are, and, that's
What to
basically
shut off.
Everything
what
talks
to-
to everything.
yeah, they
That's what
Everything
it
talks
does.
to, if there's a failure in our system, it lets us know so we can get right on top of it.
Yeah, it'll tell you, this well is not pumping, or this tower's coming down to, why is this tower not?
Yeah. And we normally refer to it as SCADA, and that's the system's name. Microcom is the company that does it.
No, like I said, I was just curious how
Yeah,
much
I'll check that out.
we've jumped in price. Move to approve the contract with Microcom.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next up, we have appropriations ordinance number 3736.
Move to approve appropriation ordinance 3736, amount of $368,928.41.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, roll call.
Hippiah,
Yes.
Fry,
Yes.
Schroller,
Yes,
Hughes,
Yes.
Feigman, Price,
Yes.
Barron,
Yes.
Drunk.
Yes.
8-0.
Next up, we have staff reports with Austin.
All right, first thing up is the ADA ramp program. I also threw in there a curb replacement because there's some large sections that we wanted to get replaced. But included is a list of locations we'd like to continue the ADA ramp program with. I'd like to send these locations to CES to design next year's ADA ramp project. We scheduled 50 locations with CES for them to design. I think we're on I think we kind of skipped a year, so we're on year 3 of the ADA ramps project. But we've done quite a bit, and we've kind of centered it around downtown and going out. But with a twist, because I know Todd had mentioned we should get the highway freed up for traffic on the sidewalk. So you'll see some of these locations 15th and Center, and 15th to 17th. I mean, those are all to get somebody in a wheelchair from here to Casey's to Walmart, well, for the most part. As far as they can on the sidewalk without having to go out into the highway to get there.
It connects already existing ADA compatible areas.
Yes.
I'm sorry if I could jump in with a question on that.
Yep.
I was kind of thinking about this the other day because I ran on that sidewalk. Does it matter that these ADA ramps are going to feed into non-ADA compliant sidewalks? I only ask because the sidewalk along the base of, especially the Water Tower Hill, is very narrow,
Right.
which I know is not an ADA width. Does that matter? Is that going to, I mean,
No.
I think
Well,
it's
mean,
definitely better than nothing.
It does matter. Something is better than nothing. Let's just put it that you are correct. Something is better than nothing. And in fact, we will widen that sidewalk by removing some of the fill off of it this last year. So it is wider than what it was. I have been fighting on whether we should move it back and put a retaining
When that
wall
sidewalk
up.
was poured, that probably would have been a great idea. There's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking that can go into this kind of thing, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for our purposes on this program, getting people onto a sidewalk is the most important thing. And if it's a one-lane sidewalk for a wheelchair where somebody could walk up onto the grass to avoid them, that's better than nothing.
agreed.
So, I mean, you can go through this list. Like I said, I included pictures. The pictures are, if you look down at the bottom, so like one's from 2018, one from 2013. Google has varying ranges of when these were taken, when the car came through, and at what angle the car caught it at. But so these curves could be worse than what they are. In fact, more than likely they are. I'm not going to say could be, but
I call them here, all the trucks in the picture, I think, are 2013 models.
yes.
Yes, and no.
So, yeah, I mean, the bottom right image capture, it'll say July, so like on page 54, it says, for the 5th and Elm southwest corner, the image capture was July 2013. So you can see where that's coming from. But that doesn't reduce the validity of these, and you can tell the old sign, we've now updated every sign in town to the green approved sign. But this just gives you an idea of what each one of these looks like. Every one of them probably in worse condition than what these pictures show.
I called and talked to Austin earlier about the ADA grant program, and when they go out for bids this time, on the radiuses, like if you go to page 58, where that curve's all beat up in there, you know, he's gonna make sure that they get that figured in on the radiuses, so they can do the ADA, and the curve replacement. going around.
That would be an entire corner.
To get it
Because
done.
they wouldn't be able to pour up against that curve.
No, because it's so badly beaten, and they're gonna look at that when they go out on this, when he gets the CES, whoever he's gonna get,
Yep,
go out and look at these to make sure that they don't just do that. If there's a bad spot, I told him, let's get them fixed while we're out there. Because
Yep.
Gary's, you know, pretty busy with all that stuff, so.
yep.
They're there, they got two ends of it broken up, it don't take much to finish pulling it out and repair it, so.
Yep. So, I will put a caveat to this. We can go get these designed, and then if we find out after it's designed, because we're destined to design these anyways.
Right.
If we find out it's a little bit too much more money than we were hoping for, we can reduce that, save the already designed spots for next project, and move forward with a more acceptable thing. But getting these designed is important in our process of continuing our ADA project. But getting the highway done, those corners done, it seems to be really important, as well as some of these other ones that get people around town to where they need to go. So those are the ADA ramp replacement sites for CES to design. The other list that I have down there is full block curb replacement. I didn't include any pictures because it was hard. I mean, I tried to get 15th from Broadway to Elm. It was terrible back in 2013. So you can go look at it now, and it's terrible again, maybe with some asphalt in it. So it just, including those pictures didn't seem, but I wouldn't submit these for design, as they are just curbs and pretty straightforward. I would just want to include these ones in this project with ADA ramps. So we put the ADA ramps out there for bid and just put a note at the bottom of the bid sheet saying we also in this project want to include these. We don't have design, but these are where the locations are. Please include these in your bid, sort of thing. And I mean, I've done stuff like that before, so it's not out of the ordinary for this to happen like this. But, yeah. So any other questions on these sites?
4 blocks curb getting done. So.
Yes, and we do budget for curb and gutter specifically, so this would, I mean, the ADA ramp project and the curb could combine that money to make a nice, decent sized project and get, I mean, 15th Street is a big drainage street where a lot of water goes down. This would help with our drainage down that way. So, yeah.
We don't need any kind of motion or anything on that? Or not? Or do you want a motion for it?
Either consensus to send these to make a motion to send these to the engineer.
Move to approve, or move to send the ADA replacement project to CES for engineering.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say Terry?
I have one question.
Yes.
Just to send CES, or is there gonna be any other engineers involved too?
We actually scheduled this 3 years ago to contract with CES to do these. So this is, we've asked them to, yeah.
That's the only discussion I have.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
All right. Next thing, and I apologize for not changing the title up, I was asked to bring back raises, should have said something like raises in here, but raises for 2021, and like it said there, included are possible raises. It's same options, as I wasn't asked to change anything up. I'm still on the recommendation of the middle one, but I am open to discussion on all of this. I still, this has to do with, one, cost of living. It also has to do with the working conditions that we have. I have a great example of the working conditions that we have. One of our employees, who I can't name, was exposed to COVID while doing their job. They could not do the job any other way, and they were still exposed to COVID. This is why I think it's justified that we're looking at these sort of raises. So, I'll leave it up to you guys to discuss.
I'll just say, as I was looking at it, and we've got a few new council members, so everybody wasn't here last year when we kind of went through this. We gave the police department a pretty substantial raise, and we needed to get their wages up where they needed to be. And we also gave a smaller raise to the other employees, kind of with the understanding that we didn't have the money in the budget last year, but we would get some money in the budget and adjust their raises the following year. As I'm kind of looking at that, and I know there's been kind of some back and forth, this is just my take on it. I like the idea of $1.50 for all the employees, except for the police department, and then $1.25 for the two part-time, and then $1 for all the other police. Just kind of keeping with what we had said last year, that we would give all the other employees a larger raise this year because we kind of left.
When you say, I didn't include any part-time in this, the two that are on there,
Which one are those?
those are full, those are the ones that weren't included. So Todd and Ruth were not included in that 240 raise.
Okay.
That's what
Okay.
the two.
That's right, yeah, we left them out.
Yeah.
That's, I forgot about that.
So that's what the two are. Yeah, so no part-time in this list.
Okay, and that's beefed up on that. But that was just kind of my take. Like I said, last year, we had promised all the other employees that we would try to do our darndest to get them another raise the next year. So that's kind of where I was at on it.
You said $1.50 and a dollar.
Yeah, $1.50, because I know we had talked last time about looking into $1.50 across the board too, which is something that can still be done.
Didn't hear it.
I mean, and that's something that can still be done.
Or then are you gonna give them merit raises again like you did last year plus the raise?
Yes, that would be the standard practice to give these. Well, like I said, this has nothing to do with the merit raises. It's all about cost of living plus working conditions right now. I mean, that's my justification right there. It has, our employees work hard, they work great, they do great, and they should still be getting those merit raises when their time comes.
So you're talking $1.50 an hour raise plus merit raises this next year for everybody.
Correct. When their time comes. It doesn't, obviously their merit raises don't come in January, they come throughout the year. So it's not, those aren't as adjusting on the budget as something like this.
So what are the other businesses in town, or the county and them, what are they doing?
The county gives like a straight dollar raise each month. And Parker can speak to the county if he wants to.
Yeah, they give you a raise, they also take back in insurance. That's what they do. They give you a raise and then they take it back in insurance.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yes, I took
That's the truth.
into consideration some other people. So, my instance was Walmart. They were planning on giving a large raise to their people who work inside, and not the conditions that we work in.
But
So-
you realize those people don't get insurance or benefits, so of course, that's a little bit different than what the,
Right, but again,
Who doesn't get insurance and benefits? You work full-time out of Walmart, you can have insurance and benefits.
how many people get benefits and insurance at Walmart?
Well, you
Quite a
have to
few,
figure
I'm
out,
sure.
Yeah.
you have
Well,
to figure out if
there's a few, but not most of your people that work there. So I bet there's very few of them.
Well,
I-
that's more than you think.
Honestly, Austin, I don't care what the other businesses do, because I look at the $1.50 as a way to
Well,
get better workers
right, and
And keep them.
and
Right.
keep them.
And if we're concerned about other employees from other jobs complaining about us, we have job openings. We'll
Yeah.
give you
Yeah.
that money to work for us. That's what we want. We want to attract employees. We want to show that we care about our employees enough, and you want to come work for us. That's what we want. You're upset that your job didn't give you a raise? Right here, come here. We'll give you money to work for us.
I understand, but other people are getting laid off, people are not losing jobs and stuff like that, so we have to take into consideration what's going on in our community right now with the virus and stuff like that, so.
We don't have the option to lay off. And like I said, I have an employee that got directly exposed to COVID because they were doing their job correctly. They could, if they did it any other way, they'd be shirking their duties.
You don't
That's
think other people in the community, what about the hospitals and those people, don't you?
They should be paying their employees properly. let's just make it that point. I don't know what they're paying them, but they should be paying them for their job. I want to pay our people for the job that they're doing.
Okay, but there's a lot of other people that are, you know, I'm not saying that we shouldn't give them a raise, but I think maybe $1.50 might be a little excessive, so, with the way things are right now, so. Considering what, the way things are, people losing their jobs and that kind of stuff, and the way taxes are.
This is-
Marysville's the only place, city of Marysville is the only one that the mill levy went up. With Washington County and Marysville, city taxes were the only mill levy that went up this year.
No. Look at your school taxes. That's what the school is what killed us. Our tax levy went down for the city of Marysville.
Did the mill levy go up, down?
Our mill levy stayed flat. It actually dropped, I think.
The mill levy for the city of Marysville?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It went
And your school
down
probably
point something, I don't remember what it
Yeah, that's
was.
what usually happens.
Yeah, then your school come in
Because
behind
if
you
the
and
city
gobbles
lowers
up.
it, somebody
The
swoops in
mill,
and
the
gobbles
city of
it up.
Marysville mill levy went up this year.
No, it went down.
Yeah,
A very little bit.
it was slightly.
It did drop.
For all intents and purposes, it remained flat. And I'm not advocating for raising taxes. This is not raising any taxes.
All right, but
And this fits right within our budget. And with the little changes that, I mean, yeah, this is, yeah.
You know, it's been more training people over and over and over and over again, investing the time with them.
Yeah, and then they could find another job that pays $1 more an hour and they leave us after we spent 6 months training somebody. I just as soon give somebody $1, $1.50 an hour. Hey, you got a great job here, we got great benefits. You know, what more can we do to keep you here?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
it
about,
costs a lot of money to train somebody
It does.
over and over again.
in this day and age, it's about keeping your employees. That's what the bigger companies really want to do. And we're not a large corporation or anything, but we need to do that. I mean, we have people here who've worked here a long time, but just since I've been on city council, I was surprised when I first got here, the turnover. You know, I really was. So,
And you got quite a few that are gonna retire in the next X
that's
amount of
right.
years.
And we need,
And you wanna,
these other people coming in to get trained so they can step up
Well,
and take over.
we want quality.
Yeah, that's right. You know, you bring them in, you start them out, you bring them through the ranks, they become qualified for the job when the job comes open.
okay, you were gonna make a motion, Keith?
Yeah, I move, we do the 2021 raises, $1.50 for city employees and $1.25 for police officers.
I'll second.
Okay. All right, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
7-1.
And I want to apologize for this next thing. I was planning on having it on the next one, but come to find out, we have a 3-week break and it wasn't going to work out in our pay cycle. But every year we give a gift certificate for Christmas. And last year we gave $75 a person. And it amounts to like $2,300. Are you guys still okay with giving out? These gift certificates are from the chamber bucks, so people can spend money locally. Is that okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Move to approve the chamber bucks
Second.
for our employees.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 8-0.
That's all I have.
Next up, standing committees. Anybody have anything on the street? Yes, Kevin?
South 11th Road. 11th? Yeah, 11th Road. Huh?
CJ South.
CJ South. CES was doing some work on that, or how are they doing on it? Are they getting
I
close?
haven't gotten an update. I will ask. I was concerned about that too. I will ask.
I mean, I'd just like to see what they're coming, if we can, if there's any way we can break that up and do portions of it, you know, I'd like to see some progress made on it instead of being a stalemate at this game.
Okay, yeah, I will check in on them. I am kind of, I was worried about that too.
That's getting pretty bad down out there by the, what's the name? The old folks, you know, yeah, Bulldog Apartments where that concrete comes out. Seems like we're always patching out. If we could at least get past that driveway, I think it'd make a world of
That'd
difference
be a
out
good
there.
first stage.
Yeah, I
That'd be a
think
good
that
first
would,
stage.
that would be the only way to do the first stage would be just right past the, I mean, you could go further, but
Right.
it only makes sense to go right.
Get
Yes.
past the.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we left CES with the instructions to do it in phases, so
Okay.
I will check in with Rob on that.
Okay, like I said, I'm just curious, spring's gonna be here before long, and, I mean, months move by fast, so.
Okay, no problem.
Okay. Anything else on the street?
Well,
Yes, Gary.
one thing I just, had a couple people ask me, that fits in so good with the trees. When we put that stop sign on North, it would have been fun when it was new, maybe to have some kind of red flag on it or something to call people's attention to it, because a couple people asked me about that. They were surprised, they saw it, they stopped, but they couldn't see it really, or didn't realize it went in. They weren't listening to the council meeting.
North and
No, well, and I
Yeah,
have to admit,
I'll see what Garrett can put together.
I know I myself blew through it a couple weeks ago. I wasn't even thinking, I just paused and round I went.
It's really tough to see going north there.
Yeah, I was gonna say unpopular opinion, I feel bad for the people who live right there, but there's usually a vehicle parked right on the stop sign on going northbound.
Yep.
It is hard to see.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
So if it had a little red deal on it when it was first new, everybody get used to it. That's all I have.
I will check into that. Thank you, Garrett.
All right. Anything?
A couple
Yes.
things. One is, I'm glad we got the, street light in on the alley on 8th Street between, Center and Carolina, but I don't think it's serving the purpose I had hoped it would. It doesn't broadcast south very well. Turns out that's apparently a really nicely spotted street light, but I still think we're gonna have to, or we should, push on First Commerce to get some sort of light in on the north side where that light used to be on Center Street. I understand why they don't want us to put one in now if they're gonna develop it, but I don't know if they can show us their hand enough for us to plan around their eventual proposal, but I think we should have a street light there.
Maybe we can see if they can change the type of street light.
Even if it's something where Westar is like, we'll put in a wood pole and come back later and change it or something. It
They
just-
get something like they got up at Landell's, those new ones they put off,
Yeah,
that would broadcast it out.
yeah.
That one is, that light that they put in is basically
Very
designed to go down.
Yeah.
So
Nice
they
light.
have a couple different options. So we'll check with Evergy to see if we can get just a different option or not.
Tell them they can feel free to put that light on Broadway on those interstate grade poles. It shines in my bedroom window from 2 blocks away. But whatever. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is Broadway, I think, looks pretty nice where they got it finished. Anybody else think that's surprisingly rough through there, the new section of brick? It's like they
It
used
is.
2 different kinds of brick.
Well, they reused our brick out at the dump.
Do we have multiple
Yes.
kinds?
We have at least 5 different options.
Are they sorted out there, or were they trying to mix it up when they laid them? It's rough, on a motorcycle, it's extremely rough.
It's designed to slow you down, Todd. Quit speeding through there.
I didn't know if that was something where we,
It's because they didn't have enough usable brick underneath that asphalt. So they wouldn't pull tiles out. Yeah, they're not all the same brick, so we'll do that. And we're hoping some of it settles out because it is sand under there.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
I mean, it's not the end of the world, I was just a little
it's the
surprised.
nature of the brick they put down.
Oh.
And, I mean, it saved us money and it allowed us to use a longer lasting brick.
Well, that brick is a hard brick, and the way it was quarried out, there's multiple thicknesses of it.
Yeah,
And
that
that's
makes
what, it's not like the brick further to the west where it was a manufactured
Sure.
brick where it's all the same thickness. This here, some of that varies 3/4 of an
But
inch in
it's,
thickness.
I agree.
And that's why you get that unevenness in
That
it.
to the
so.
west is like a really smooth.
Well, that was
Even
a
to the east, it's-
manufactured brick
Sure.
that went in there, so.
And on the east, it's smoother, it's
Yeah.
just, like there's multiple different, it's still better than it was.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
And it looks nice, I mean, we don't have the asphalt in there. Yeah, that was what I was gonna mention, that it looks a lot nicer than looking at the asphalt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and you're working on the bollards?
yes. And are you guys okay with me looking into a concrete bollard?
When you say concrete bollard,
Like they got at the school?
that's what I
So-
was like, what kind are you?
So I don't, basically what I'm thinking about is, I'm in talks with somebody who designs bollards, or actually concrete pieces of art, somewhat, to see if they have something that they've already molded up that would match our streetscape. So like I thought, a wagon wheel that stands straight up, that is heavy enough not to be moved, and it matches the aesthetics.
So they aren't anchored, they're held by gravity only.
Held by gravity, something we could pick up with a skid steer that won't get damaged by the skid steer when we're moving it, just move it back. That way, because you should have seen them try to remove the bricks that we needed them to remove. It's terrible. The brick is in there really good. Getting the brick out, then getting down to the depth we needed. It doesn't make sense with what it is. And the fact that, I mean, if they hit it and it knocks it over, I mean, it's not bending the frame down below the base like they currently do. And if they break it, somebody has the mold, maybe we buy the mold if the price is right, and then just we can have whoever reform them up and put them back. But I'm looking into this, seeing how much it costs, making them more decorative, because it is a decorative piece of town, and to match the horse and the wagon wheel, I mean, it's a limb that I'm going out on.
So when you have something, you'll just bring it back to us?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. I'm not gonna have them make it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else on the street? Water, wastewater?
Yes.
Yes, Kevin.
Last year, our water project, we didn't go out to bid on because they come in bidding higher than what we projected it was going to be. Are we gonna get bids out in January so we can see if we can get some different companies in on this, Austin?
You want me to bring them, I can bring back, I mean, we already have the bid specs ready to go. You want that same project? Do you want it split into two projects and or bid it out the same and say this is our line? If it's too much, we'll go with just this.
Yeah, that's what I would do, but I think we need to get it out here in January
Okay.
so we can get it out to these contractors so they know that they've got a project in Murraysville, Kansas. It's gonna be a $300,000 project, so they can look and see, yeah, I could be there for 3 months doing that project, so they.
I'll talk to Tony and bring back specs, hopefully at the next council meeting.
Okay, and like I said, if we need to put an overall dollar amount on it, let's do it, but I mean. And the other thing I wanted to bring up was we talked about it, I know a long time ago, and I've seen it in your report a couple times, the towers for the Neptune readers.
Right.
How are we doing on them?
I got them ordered. They asked some questions, and it's being held up by either Neptune or a municipal supply. I keep checking back with them and trying to get them to go.
So they are ordered?
Yeah, they're ordered.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what I was wondering, because like I said, we wanted it to come out of this year's budget. That
Yep.
was the only reason I
Yeah,
was.
definitely trying to get those in this year so we can get them. I've even been talking to Blue Valley about their internet and all that, trying to get all the pieces lined up. And it just,
Okay, as long as they're coming, that's,
yep.
all right.
Okay. Anything else on water, wastewater? Parks and Rec?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll wait till he's done right.
What's that?
I'll wait till he's done right and ask. Safety nets.
We went out and looked at them. I got some ideas on how to do it. I need to get some measurements to get them. You just want me to order them or bring back measurements to put back. It looks like a simple process to get them over the bleachers that we're most concerned about, where the fence just stops. Putting some poles behind the the bleachers and then bringing the nets out up above to where you can sit comfortably and not feel claustrophobic. It was simpler than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And now we can only do them, what's the corner one? Is that the
Black diamond?
black diamond back in the back?
Yeah, it goes
That
down to
one's,
concrete.
I mean, that one, I don't see nets going over those, because they're all like right there behind the fence, unless you guys really want to try to do that, but everywhere else seems like it's pretty simple to put them over where the.
Honestly and
fence
truly,
stops.
the black diamond, the reason people get hit on the black diamond
Uh-huh.
is because they pop fouls off the blue diamond and they come up and hit people on the back. So we need to get some kind of an up and down fence going down.
So
between-
like, and again, what's, the blues over on the right?
Right,
Okay, so they have a fence that runs, just a freestanding fence?
Yes,
Is that
it runs
something
down.
you're looking at?
yeah, so
Okay.
they can hit that instead of coming clear over and
Yeah,
smacking people sitting on the black diamond over there.
I'd like to see you net them all, but I understand the black diamond can be a challenge.
Right, yeah, and it's all, I mean, it's all concrete back there, and they're not bleachers per se.
Right. I didn't know if you could use that freestanding fence and work off of some of that for a net to sit on.
So you put the freestanding fence behind Red Diamond, and that, right? That's where you're talking about, from left to,
Most of the foul balls come off the blue diamond.
okay, on Blue Diamond, okay.
Blue and black trade foul balls pretty fair.
Pretty fair.
So we put an
You always
additional,
hear, ball
Yeah.
additional freestanding fence,
going south between the blue and the black diamond.
okay, and then nets.
I know it
Okay,
makes it pretty tough coming off the concession stand down over the black diamond because of the big trees that we have in there.
Right, but can't you go from the freestanding fence if you
Yeah, you could then,
Yeah.
yeah.
go from the freestanding fence to the black field, and you could cover a lot of people that get hit
Oh, yeah.
over here, pretty simple.
You can go easily from the top of the concession stand over to the red diamond and the
Right.
blue diamond, so.
Okay. No, we took a good look at them here recently and saw that. There was a thought to extend the backstop up a little bit and over, just like, I mean, all the big ones go a little bit further to catch those foul balls. That was an option we talked about. But the easy part is that net over the existing bleachers, and that challenge was that black diamond. So, I mean, those are some great thoughts you got.
Okay. Anything else on Parks and Rec? Cemetery and Airport? Police and Fire?
Cemetery and Airport.
Yes.
A couple of years ago, I think I brought it up, up by, we're talking about Potter's Field, and I drove the family out there this last week to show them what I was talking about when I was talking about Potter's Field. There's, for lack of a better word, street on the north side of the chapel, goes up by Potter's Field. I mentioned that it would be nice to work that in someday to make it match the rest of our cemetery street network. Is that still something kind of out in the ether?
Yes. It hasn't been a priority because we've been wanting to
Sure.
do
And-
in-town
No,
streets,
no,
but it's always
I
here.
completely get that. I mean,
Yeah.
it looks like it's either gonna need to be done or we're gonna have to dump more rock. I mean, it's kind of soft, along there, and especially if we're going to encourage people to visit Potter's Field and know where this is and kind of honor that, it seems like something we could kind of put back on the long-term plan.
Okay.
Just my 2 cents.
Could we get some good rock to just put up?
Yeah, we if it needs rock, we put the.
Well, I mean, we should, because, we're out there quite a bit, and there's a lot of dips and muddy spots, and it probably would be.
And it's- And I noticed it was flagged along the south side. Is there something going to be there where the outhouses in that area? There's orange flags
Oh.
like it's been
Oh,
flagged
they
out.
look like utilities came
Yeah,
through?
yeah, or like one call from in the cemetery or something. Do you know if there's something going on I don't know about?
Oh, they might have been digging.
Because it's just between the dirt piles and the outhouses and the chapel. so basically east of the chapel. Through there, it looked, and that's what also I kind of thought, oh, maybe they're starting to think about doing something.
Well, they did the same thing at the airport too. They flagged.
Yeah, I
They were
don't-
looking for water lines.
I was gonna say that I don't think there's water in those outhouses or the chapel or
No,
anything,
they
so that's
don't.
why I don't know what it would be. And usually orange is telephone. I don't know there's not a telephone in there.
You never know.
They're probably digging for something they don't normally dig for, so, I mean, it's just
Okay.
a, yeah.
I was just kind of curious if there was something going on. Maybe thought maybe they were gonna electrify something or put a light up. I had no idea. Okay. Oh, one more thing I was gonna say. If there's a tall stone that's been tipped over, is that something where
We don't touch.
We don't touch the stones.
We-
is there
we
any
contact the-
organization that does that?
We contact the owner, they organize with the monument store down here, and they go take.
Well, I noticed there was a relatively large stone that had been knocked or tumbled over, or maybe it got unsteady. I don't think it was.
It gets unstable and they couldn't
And
stabilize
it
it.
was, I mean, it stood out because you don't see that very often. I just didn't know whose responsibility.
There
that
is somebody that we have been in contact with that was gonna get in touch with. If it's the same stone, if there's only one out there, then I think that family knows and they're working on it.
Okay, yeah, this one I don't think I've noticed before, and it's.
Oh, okay,
very
so that might be another one and we can
Okay.
ask Dale, but
Okay.
I know one of
I'm just
them that
kinda
had
curious.
fallen over, they have.
Yeah, the family was out there, and it was like, whoa, what happens then? And I'm like, I don't know who's
Yeah,
responsible.
we don't organize that unless it's our fault. I mean,
Sure.
we have on occasion hit one with the mower and taken care of it.
And there is one or two that looks like, and I used to, full disclosure, I used to mow cemeteries, spent years mowing cemeteries. It looked like they've been maybe bumped askew by mowers, and I understand how that happens.
Yeah, and if that happens, we
Sure.
take care of it. If it falls over on its own, and it does, then we contact the relative, and they take care of it.
And what if there's no relatives you can get a hold of? What happens?
Has that happened?
Not yet?
Not
Yeah,
yet.
don't
Okay.
say anything.
Yeah, thanks, Todd.
Yeah, thanks, Todd.
Thanks.
Gotcha, sorry.
Okay. Anything else, cemetery and airport? Police and fire? Admin and finance? I have one probably on admin and finance, and I hate to be the one that, because I said I wasn't gonna bring this up. Like 3 years ago, the council put a hold on storage containers, but then they were supposed to change the code, which never happened. And I've been on council enough to know that's not typically how it's supposed to work. We probably ought to do something to finalize that. Because I know we've got some out there that never got painted, and we wanted to make them paint them, but we never changed the code book to say that they needed to be maintained or painted or anything along those lines.
We just put a moratorium to stop until a policy was written. No policy's ever been written.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
I think we do, I think you're right. I think we need to develop that, flesh out that policy and put it in place.
Well, because
Kind of on hold.
it's been like 4 years now,
Yeah.
so it probably ought to be addressed.
I mean, going further into that, I don't necessarily think we need a blanket ban, but we need some rules and structures and
Yeah.
strictures and whatnot.
Yeah, council just needs to decide what they want to do with them or what they want to require.
Yeah, if someone puts one in, puts siding on the side of it, puts a big grip on it.
I literally yesterday was admiring one in a different town that was a house that had been built out of them, and it looked as nice as just about any house I've seen
Oh,
around.
yeah, if you
Yeah.
create something out of them, that's totally different than storing something.
Sure.
But like, they make great garages because you can't get mice in them and stuff too, so,
Yeah.
or sheds, so.
I mean, that's up to you guys, what you want to, do.
Can we
I mean, it's
have a
not like it's a
policy
hurry,
that-
but
Would you like to see the one that was brought forward from planning and zoning, put a policy together? And we still have that
The last one,
policy?
the very last one that we
Mhm.
discussed on.
Yep, yep,
In the next month.
Let's bring that back and
Sure.
review it.
sure.
Sure. If nothing else, we'll give us a jumping off point.
Yeah.
So we should look at it.
that's all I had. Anybody else have anything on admin finance? We have a few appointments this time. Convention, Tourism, and Planning and Zoning.
Move to approve the mayor's appointments to the Convention and Tourism Committee and the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There you go. Okay, I don't think we have anything for the city attorney, do we? Does he have something for us?
Well, I can bring you up to date. Can you hear me, Terry? I can stand up too.
No, I'm hearing fine.
We did an inspection with an engineer of an apartment building. The building inspector was there, and I was there, and the engineer. We expect a report any time. It doesn't look well, and we did visit with the owner, and we'll get with the city administrator and talk about what that owner relayed to us. There are 3 years' taxes that are delinquent as of we speak, I believe. And then December 20th is coming, which would be another year. So if the council takes it down, the likelihood of recovery is slim. And it looks like it'd be a costly project, just sizing it up.
You can't believe. That'd be very expensive.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else interested in that property you know of?
Well, I just visited with the owner, that's all. She didn't relay to me any offers or anything like that, but there is indication she wants to move or leave the property.
She wants to what?
Leave or move. There are 3 tenants on the south side, and the owner lives in the bottom apartment.
Was he right in town?
Yes, right in town. I just wanted to bring you up to date, we're looking at it. There's another property that we're looking at, progress was being made, all of a sudden it stopped. So I'll probably bring a complaint back to this body to have a hearing on it and authorize the city to expend money to go ahead and finish the project. It had been through city court, and the jurisdiction of the court, in my opinion, is limited and cannot really authorize expenditure of city monies. The court does not have that authority. Thank you, Mayor.
Yep, thank you. Okay, that's all there is, roundtable. Bobby, nothing?
I really don't have
Todd?
Yeah, I should have brought up under streets. So many other things, so I was talking about under streets. 11th Road, probably the first 50, 75 yards south of North Street, where it's really broken up. This is just east of the St. Greg Cemetery. I think probably by next spring, it's going to be intensely bad after ice and snow and salt have done their work. Pretty much between the patch we did near the entrance, the east entrance to the cemetery, and the corner of North, I don't think any amount of crack seal or cold mix is going to fix it. I think we're probably going to have to look at another project to dig that out and redo it. Maybe to the point of concreting that corner, since there's turning truck traffic there, and I don't see that subsiding. But I mean, I've noticed the crack seals have work has done a lot of good in a lot of places, especially on North Street and 11th Road. But places like that, where it's over the whole road, I just don't see us being able to fix it. And all that turning traffic and heavy traffic all day, I think. I haven't had people really complain about it yet, but it's only a matter of time until it looks as bad as South 11th Road. So while we're looking at 11th Road, we probably can consider that as well.
Okay.
That's all.
Diane?
I don't have anything.
Terry?
No, I have nothing.
Keith?
Yeah, I don't know too much about Blue Cross and Blue Shield. Do we have a vision plan on that?
No.
Could you possibly get a vision plan put together and maybe see if the employees have an open enrollment for that, see if they would want that?
Actually, Aflac has one that is offered to them that they can pay on their own. The city doesn't pay any part of it. Do you want this to be as partly paid by the city?
Right.
Yes. Oh, okay. Okay, I
Just
can,
have
I can
an
see what they have. I'm,
Open enrollment for them.
sure, I
If
can
they
see.
Wish to take it out or not.
Well, the open enrollment, I just didn't know if the city was gonna pay a portion.
We-
Yeah, they would. Okay, we'll look.
I know Blue Cross Blue Shield offers.
Yes, they have
some-
them.
So we can, yeah, we got
Yeah.
a couple different options we can check into.
Yeah,
Just check into that.
okay.
That's all. Anything else? Parker?
I don't have anything.
Colleen? Kevin?
Yeah. Seeing as though Will Ralph is so busy, can we look at hiring a part-time gentleman or lady or whoever we want to this summer to be a code enforcer? Work 3 or 4 days a week,
Yep, definitely was on the plans. It
20
just-
hours a week, I don't care what they work, but we don't need somebody, I don't think, full-time.
Yeah, we,
But I mean, somebody to come in, work, 20 hours, 15 to 20 hours a week, and just drive through the town and make sure things are,
we would have had somebody on staff, I mean, if situations were different and people were more interested in applying.
Right.
I mean, we went through a couple of them, well, a couple of them this last year.
yeah.
So, no, the plan was to bring that back, yes.
Okay,
And then we didn't get anybody else that was interested.
okay,
It
well,
looks
that's,
like it's seasonal.
Yeah, see,
Seasonal.
yeah, just somebody come in, when the grass gets growing and, things get out of control again and we start getting complaints and thank you, whoever, for the face mask.
no problem. Identities made those. They actually designed them and they did a great job. I mean, yeah.
They look nice. That's all I have, sir.
I don't really have much other than, our counts continue to increase. We can do everything we can to try and get this under control as best as we can. Holidays are coming up. I know a lot of people are, canceled, or might cancel, or canceled cars and didn't have it, which is a tough call to make. Nobody likes doing that. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully people be safe and we'll try and get this under control a little bit.
Here's a letter of support.
Oh, yeah. And the school asked for a letter of support for a program that they, when did it get going? I didn't really understand the
I
whole
can't remember
program.
the thing.
I didn't really understand the whole program. I
From-
got an email from them.
What you sent me was
Yeah.
a letter asking for, I guess they have a program called Communities in the School, and Shelley Cromie does it. They would like to start that in the elementary school, and this is a grant. It looked like it was, like Frankfurt, and I mean, whatever our whole network of stuff, and they would just needed letters from the community and the cities supporting that if they would like to start that program in the grade school as well, for them to get a grant. So they just want us to write a letter of
Yeah,
support. but
all they need from us is a letter of support. So,
Move to adjourn.
have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed?
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank you.